Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Listen, tonight I'm going to be going over, in this video, rather, be explaining the PPP or the Payroll Protection Program. I'm going to explain it to you from A to Z. I'm going to give you information if it's if you're a first or a second time user, the eligibility to get approved for the PPP, the coverage you have to have as far as when you're applying for the PPP, the things that are covered as far as the PPP, and also how to acquire forgiveness for the loan with the PPP. Okay, we're going to go through the whole gamut with the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program. So if you're tuning in, make sure you chime in and give me all your questions and everything while we're going streaming live with everything. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know, Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. So, you know, stay abreast with all the information we put out in regards to small businesses, government lending, financing, grants, or anything like that. Hit that $ in the bottom right-hand corner. I really need you guys to make sure you subscribe to it, like the video, leave comments and everything. Then check out all the over 200 videos that I have listed right now on Mr. Short Dollar, okay? And everything. Okay, now listen. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with the PPP loan because I've been getting calls just out of yin yang in regards to people asking me, hey D, what's going on with the PPP? How much money can I get? How do I qualify and everything like that? So again, we're gonna go over the whole gamut. So if you got any questions, please ask your questions now while you got me live on here and everything. And even if you do miss me, just leave the comments on the videos and everything, because right now I'm streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and both to my personal and the Mr. Short Dollar Facebook page, and on the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube page, and also on my personal Instagram, Deonte_77. But if you do miss me, like I say, if you don't catch it live, make sure you leave a question with that. Now, here's the deal. We talk about the Payroll Protection Program. This is part of the last stimulus package that Congress enacted at the end of 2020. And they allocated, I think it was $285 billion of the $900 billion stimulus package towards government funding and everything. So with the PPP loan, let me get the exact number that they allocated towards that, if I can find it, that they had towards, I can't find the exact number here, that the government had allocated towards the PPP loans. But long story short, what we do know in regards to, you know, they put out some adjustments to the actual original requirements that they have, but they also made it an opportunity. Even if you got the PPP the first time, you can actually apply for it and acquire the second time. And like I said, we're going to go through all that again. And if you're a first-time applicant for the PPP loan, it started on yesterday, which was Monday, January 11th. You can apply for it. Now, if you're a second-time applicant or a second-time drawer of the PPP, that starts tomorrow, Wednesday, January 30th, where you can apply if you're a second-time user of the PPP loan, okay? Let me fix a couple things here. Everybody checking in, everything. Now, listen, the PPP, the application process is going to last to March 31st of this year. That's March 31st, 2021. That's the deadline to apply for the PPP program. So you have plenty of time to get everything in. Again, we're going to go through everything, and what we're going to start with is the second. If you're a second-time user, if you got it initially in 2020, you apply for it and you receive a PPP loan, I'm going to give you the background information that you need in order to apply for the loan again for the second time. Okay. Again, this is Mr. Short Dollar. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Facebook page, subscribe to everything. Hit that $ in the bottom right-hand corner if you're looking at us on YouTube. Now, here's the deal. When we talk about a second-time user or second-time draw, The requirements, basic requirements, is that you can borrow up to $2 million. Okay, you borrow $2 million. You have to have 300 or fewer employees. Again, we're talking about if this year a second time applicant, you got a PPP the first time in 2020. You borrowed $2 million. You have to have less than 300 employees in your company. You have to have used the full amount of the original loan before the second disbursement is given. Okay, so even if you haven't used all of it as of right now, you got it. But before that second disbursement, if you get approved for it, you have to have used all that money up by then. Okay, that's very key. You have to have used all of it up by then. Okay, the full amount, not a partial, not some. The full amount of your first PPP loan, you have to use all of it up before the second disbursement happens. Okay. Another thing is that one of the qualifications is you can have to have experienced a 25% reduction in revenue from 2020 in comparison to your 2019 revenue. So again, you have to have a quarter reduction of revenue from 2020 from 2019. So, and that doesn't have to be from the whole year. You don't have a 20% drop in revenue for the whole year of 2020 compared to 19. It can be just for a certain section, just say a quarter. But you have to be able to show that, say your first, it has to be that comparable quarter. So for easy explanation, your first quarter 2019 in comparison to your first quarter 2020, there has to be a 25% deduction in revenue. Okay, so if overall during the year it didn't work, but if you can find a section in one of those quarters where there was a 25% reduction in revenue, you're going to use that then. Okay, you need to go in and use that. That's one of these are the backdrops that you have to have in regards to applying for the PPP. That 25% reduction in revenue. This is for a second time user. You're doing your second draw. There has to be a 25% deduction in revenue in some portion of the year. So again, it can be for the whole calendar year, or it can be for a particular quarter of the year. Okay, but you have to be able to show that in some kind of financial statement, tax returns, or whatever, that you did have that reduction in revenue in comparison, it dropping from 2019 to 2020. Okay, that's key, having that 25% reduction in revenue. Okay, now that's if you have applied. This is your second time applying for it. Those are the back minimum requirements in regards to if you're a second time applicant or your second time draw the PPP loan. Okay, payroll protection program. I'm sorry. Now, what we're going to now, if you're a first time applicant, you never applied for it in 2020. This is your first time applying for it. We're gonna go over the information that you have to have submitted in regards to that. The first thing, this is very important. You had to be in operation as of February 15, 2020. Okay, you had to be in operation as of February 15, 2020. Very, very important. As of February 15, 2020, I'm going to reiterate again, you had to be in operation. Okay, a couple other requirements, this and or in addition to that, okay, your business has to have 500 fewer employees that qualify for SBA 7 Alpha loan. Okay, you have to be either a sole proprietor, independent contractor, or eligible self-employed individual. Okay, again, that's a sole proprietor, independent contractor, or eligible self-employed person. Again, we're talking about first-time applicants for the PPP loan. We just went over the second-time applicants, but this is for your first-time applicant. There also, you can be a nonprofit. This includes churches. You can be accommodating or food services operation with fewer than 500 employees per physical location. So if you food service or an accommodation company, you have to have fewer than 500 employees per location. So you have more than 500 employees, but at each particular facility, you can't have any more than 500. Okay. Next, you can be a 501c6, which is like a chamber of commerce and a visitor bureau with 300 or less employees, and not receive 15% of the org's revenue from lobbyists. Okay. They did a lot of restrictions in regards to make sure that a lot of the political affiliations were taken out. The president, the vice president, and the people of Congress that had any kind of gained interest in a particular company, that company cannot not apply for a PPP loan also. So again, when we're talking about these draws, they went through and looked at the things that people that didn't get an opportunity to apply for the PPP, and I guess I won't say cleaned it up, try to make it more accessible. the people that didn't get it. Okay, so again, those Chamber of Visitor Bureaus, they can apply for it. Okay. Now, as far as the submission of the PPP loan, you pretty much just go to your bank or any kind of funding institution and apply for the PPP. Okay. Again, this is a business loan now. Okay, so you're not going to just go on the personal side and apply, but you go to any funding institution that actually provides the PPP loan and apply for it there. Most applicants, we have to submit documents to establish your eligibility and qualifying payroll. Those documents they to establish, just to show you had payroll, can be payroll records. They can be your quarterly tax filings, being your federal 941, Department of Labor. Most times, the federal 941 probably is sufficient enough. That's your quarterly payroll report. You got a Form 1099 miscellaneous, a Form 1040, a Schedule C that you filed your personal tax return for being a profit loss for a business, or you can have your bank records. Typically, what'll happen is they're going to need more than just one. They're going to probably need probably 941, and that 941, that quarter statement for the IRS for your payroll. If you didn't have yourself on payroll during the year, just when I say payroll, actually you were getting the actual payroll checks, you were getting deducted for the federal taxes, such the unemployment and state taxes and stuff. You still have to fill out that 941. You're going to put in 0 in regards to the actual federal taxes that you paid yourself, but you still have to submit that. That's pretty much like a report or form rather. I'm sorry, that they're kind of stickler for. Okay, that Schedule C that you had, or any other particular tax return that your business had, or whatever. It's just a partnership 1065, corporation 1120, S corp 1120S. You're gonna probably submit that tax return with that as well. Also, probably a certain range of bank statements. Again, I know. At one point, they were just asking for February or March of 2020. It was during last year, probably through a certain range now and everything. So be prepared to be flexible in regards to the forms they're going to send. But those are the basic forms: the 941, the Schedule C, your 1040, or some of the other tax returns and everything. So just kind of be prepared to submit those. Those being the basic forms that they're required to approve or process your PPP loan. Okay, now we're talking about like the max amounts that a PPP loan can get approved for. Okay, here's the deal. This is for your first and your second draw or applicant for it. You may receive up to two and a half times the average monthly payroll. Okay, 2.5 times. So if your monthly payroll is $1,000, you just multiply 1,000 times 2.5, and there you go, right there. Right, which is 2,500. You know, I'm the count. I've been adding all day. I ain't got my calculator with me and everything. But again, it's just 2.5 times your monthly average of your payroll. That's typically the amount for your PPP loan and everything. Again, you'll use those particular payroll forms and everything to substantiate that, to say that's what it is. But that's pretty much cut and dry. The max for your first draw is the most you can pull out is $10 million. That 940, and they'll be looking at still that 941 or some equivalent documentation to substantiate anything, just say maybe from payroll processing company, everything. But it's still a lot is going to be kind of going based off that 941. Okay. Next thing is going over eligibility costs. When I say eligibility, these are the actual things that for you to, when you're applying for the PPP, that they'll, say, okay, these are the expenses you have to approve you for the loan. Initially, this was on the first one that was done in 2020, was they covered payroll, rent, covered mortgage interest, and utilities. Again, during 2020, that first round of PPP, they looked at, payroll, rent, covered mortgage interest, and utilities. This new round under the new stimulus bill, they're covering worker protection equipment, or PPE, personal protection equipment, and those were like, just say people had to get the mask and get all the kind of, there were a lot of upfront purchases businesses had to acquire just to stay in operations. The hand sanitizer, the mask, the face shields, things like that, signs to put up, keep social distancing. Those were things that businesses had to do just to stay in operation. So again, the PPP can be used now to cover those particular upfront expenses. or we call them expenditures in, in the accounting world, like they're upfront purchases that you don't normally make and everything to keep everything going. So those were one. Another new one that's covered is property that was damaged during the riots, the looting during 2020. If you had any kind of property or anything that was damaged during that time was covered, you can actually use your PPP money on that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if the insurance didn't cover it or anything like that, you can now use that the PPP loan to cover some of your expenses that were damaged through looting or damage or riots or anything like that happened last year. The other thing is just other operating expenditures, kind of like what I was just saying initially in regards to those upfront purchases that you just had to do in regards to just staying open, because a lot of businesses had to acquire, those different signs and everything like that, and it just was one of the things that a lot of people weren't prepared for, and that kind of just to have. Now we got hand sanitizer booth, we got these stickers, we got to have somebody come by at night to actually spray the organization and do that for us and everything. No, it was a lot of upfront costs that a lot of people had to incur just for staying in operations. So again, those actual expenditures that just happened, people can actually go back now just kind of recoup that with a PPP. Okay, and I thought that was pretty cool and everything. They put a lot of thought into what was going on and what wasn't happening in regards to the first round to make sure a lot of those things don't happen again and everything. And I thought that was pretty neat. And I think probably some stuff should have been thought of even with the first one, but things happen, and that was one of the corrective measures that they took. So that's cool with that. The next thing is, let me see. Let's talk about the forgiveness of the loan. Yeah, so we went over, make sure I don't lose my space. I want to make sure I covered everything in regards to the PPP or the Payroll Protection Program. We explained if you're a first-time applicant or a second-time applicant, the actual eligibility things you need to get it, what's covered on it, and now we're going to go probably the most important part, forgiveness. So the things you can do so you don't have to repay back the loan, okay? And here's the deal. If you spend no less than 6% of the funds on payroll and everything, these expenses are covered from 8 to 24 weeks, you can get a loan forgiven, okay? That's the key. And again, when we said doing it, the biggest thing that we have to do is, again, we're talking about 60% of that has to be paid on payroll. Documentation. I think one of the biggest problems that was happening, in 2020, and probably the same thing in 2021, people that had proper documentation. You may have been a business owner, sole proprietor, but you weren't on payroll. You didn't have certain things in place to show that, hey, I'm actually doing this. And what happens is, when you have a business, this is just a little accounting explanation. When you have a business and you're making money and you just withdraw the money out of your business to pay for personal expenses, that's not even payroll, that's an actual draw. Okay, unless you take that bottom line number at the end of the year, 1099 yourself. We're talking about if you're not on regular payroll, where you get, a W-2 employee, unless you 1099 yourself at the end of the year for that dollar amount, it's just regarded as a draw. That's just a withdrawal of the business. And you can't write that off, and it's not going to be qualified as payroll. So when we go back to what's on here, we're looking at, hey, these withdrawals and everything, you have to be able to substantiate it. That's why a lot of people weren't qualified or denied for the loans, because they didn't have the proper documents, okay? You guys know I'm an accountant by profession. My company, Majestic Business Services, I put the banner so you guys can look. We're like a one-stop shop, small businesses, bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll. So if you are in need of 1099s generated, you need need of payroll quarterly, annual filings for your payroll, your W-2s, your 940s, anything like that submitted, again, because those 940, those are your annual form that they were asking for the IRS. If you need those, feel free to reach out to us and everything. I got a website. You can reach us at www.majesticbiz.com. And as always, when I post the videos, the links to all the contact information is there also. So, but I can't stress to you guys enough in regards to having proper documentation. That is what stopped a lot of businesses from qualifying for the PPP loans, even with the idle loans last year and stuff. A lot of people that were in business that were making money, but they just weren't in compliance. And the issue of compliance hurt a lot of people and everything. And it's one of the things, like, at the end of the day, you don't think about it. You don't necessarily think about you'll be going through a pandemic. But again, it happens and stuff like that. So when they ask for the documentation, you just want to make sure you got everything in place for them in regards to that. I also want to add with the PPP loan, there were a lot of, I think it was, God, I don't know, 20 million of that money. And I know I'm boogering it up, 20 million, 20 billion, I think was allocated for minority and small businesses and stuff. And here's the deal. If you know you're a minority owned business and you're in one of those segments that they specifically allocated, you have to be very aggressive with looking for this money. Okay. This is the other thing, kind of what I put in the videos with the grants. You got to get out of the attitude where, okay, I call these people and they're not answering, or the phone stay busy and all this. We trying to get some money. Okay, we're trying to get some money. I don't care if the phone busy. I don't care if you can't get up out of the phone, call back the next day. Okay. You have to be aggressive. There is, God forbid we have to go through another pandemic. But within the past 2 years, the amount of information, you're welcome, Monica, you're welcome. The amount of money that's been available to small businesses between the idle loan and PPP loan, you gotta be out your mind and not take advantage of it. Because again, normal underwriting procedures aren't being taken. Some won't check your credit, some don't, some just want certain documents. Listen, apply for it. Let them tell you no. Let them tell you no. Because you know one of my rules in business, like I tell any one of my clients, we get access to capital when we don't need it. We don't try to go get a loan to get some money when we need to expand or try to get a hold of something. We try to get access to capital when we don't need it, okay? Because what you don't want to have happen is you get an opportunity a month or two from now, and you can't do it because you don't have the money to expand. And now you break your neck to try to get a loan, try to get some money, and you can't do it. So you get access to capital when you don't. You're talking about even with the idle loan, you got a whole year and you start making payments. If that within that year and everything and stuff, hey, though, within that year and you don't find something what to do with that loan, you get the money back. Or you can invest the money at a higher rate and just pay it back. You got 30 years to pay the idle loan. You got 24 weeks to pay back the PPP and everything. Listen, just take advantage of this money that's there, okay? Use it for the right thing now. Use it for the right thing. I'm telling you that. But we, as business owners, we spend so much time trying to get loans, trying to get money. And we got these opportunities like this. Don't let, I can't get them on the phone, or the lady was rude, deter you from getting money. That's crazy as hell. So we can't do that. We can't do that. We have to stay on top of it. If you're going to be a true business person, a true business owner, true businessman, true businesswoman, you're going to have these kind of setbacks and stuff like that. But I really can't stress you guys enough to be applying for these loans, trying to get access to, because like I said, that's my rule. Get access to capital when you don't need it. When you don't need the money, make sure that you're actually going as above and beyond to get these money. It's the same thing when I make the videos for these small business grants, the ones for minorities, for veterans, the ones for females. Do not let somebody that does not have the authority to tell you yes, tell you no. If they can't even approve your loan, you don't need to stop at them. Okay? You can't stop at it, because that's one thing I do think that's really been going on a lot with people right now. The other side of it is it's a lot. I ain't really feel like they had, you're getting money for your business. It ain't got to be convenient, but it's money. Okay. We spend so much of the time standing in lines and begging for this, that, and that. You got that time to do this. Hey, just wait. Call them. Keep calling them every day. Call them. They ask for some more forms and stuff. Go get it. Okay? Go get it. All right? That's the thing about it. Get the forms together. But again, we want to make sure we're doing it right now. We want to make sure we stand in compliance. We want to make sure we're doing everything. What's going on, Chris? How you doing, brother? Glad you tuned in. We're talking about acquiring the PPP, the Payroll Protection Loan. We've Payroll Protection Program. We've been going over actual, if you're a first-time applicant, second-time applicant, eligibility, coverage, and also forgiveness. So I hope this information, been useful to you guys, because I've been getting a lot of people that have been asking me about everything. So I kind of, want to just make the video to kind of go through the whole thing. Again, we went over the information. If you're a first-time user, second-time applicant, rather, I'm sorry, who's eligible, who's not eligible, pretty much the minimum qualification that you would need for everything with applying for it and everything, and also just forgiveness terms and everything. So please submit your question. With this, Tamika Craft, greetings. Thank you for your information. I have a question. Have you covered the age of the business? I was just starting my business in 2020. Good question, Tamika Crafted. You missed it. Yeah, I did go over. You have to be in operations February 15th, 2020. So if you just started in October 2020, you are too late. You had to be in operations February 15th, 2020. That's a good question. I had mentioned that earlier when we first started, but February 15th, 2020 is the cutoff. You had to be in operations to get approved for the PPP loan. As far as this second round is going out and everything. So that, and there was another one I want to make sure. There's another note I kind of put in here for everybody. Probably want to kind of go over this one more time with everybody coming in. Again, if you're your first time draw, it started on yesterday, Monday, January 11th. If you're a first time applicant, if it's your second time applying, that starts tomorrow, January 13th, or Wednesday, January 13th. If you're a second time applicant for the PPP loan, the deadline to apply for the loan is March 31st of this year, March 31st, 2021. Remember, second time applicants, you know what I say, get up to $2 million. You have to have used, remember, second time applicants, you have to have used the full disbursements from the first loan before the second disbursement can come to you. Okay. You don't have to have used the whole amount to apply, but for that second disbursement to come to you, you have to have used the whole loan. It's if you're a second time applicant, okay? And you have to show a 25% reduction in revenue. That doesn't have to be for the whole year. It can be for a comparable quarter. So if it has to be, just say if you had a 25% reduction in revenue from the first quarter to this of 19 in comparison to the first quarter 2020, or the third quarter 2019 to the third, or in comparison to the third quarter 2020, that's how you can do it. It doesn't have to be for the whole year. You have to show some kind of documentation substantiated. It can be a profit loss, some kind of financial statement to do that. If you do it for the whole year, they're probably gonna look at maybe profit loss or a tax return, but you got to give them some kind of documentation to substantiate that. Okay. With that first time drop, remember, like I just told young lady Tamika Crafter, you had to be in operation February 15th. You had to be in operation February 15th, 2020. That's one of the minimum qualifications for that. 1 second, trying to show this thing going. You got to be a business with 500 and fewer employees to qualify. They can qualify. These are in addition to. These don't have to be specifics. For sole proprietors, independent contractor, eligible self-employed, nonprofits including churches, accommodation and food service operations, 501c6. Those are Chamber of Commerce or some of your visitor bureaus. Information that need to be submitted that I asked for, your basic PPP application. And again, you have to just go to a lending institution. Go to your lending institution. Remember, these are business loans, not personal loans. So again, even if the money, this is a very important item that I need to go over with everyone. With the simple fact this is a business loan and you apply for it, if the amount is dispersed, the name on the application has to be on the name of the business account that it's going to be dispersed to. So if you're John Doe and you apply for ABC Construction, they're going to cut a check to ABC Construction. If you do not have a bank account for ABC Construction, I'm just telling you, it's going to be a problem. Okay. If you do not have a bank account for ABC Construction at the time you apply, break your neck to go get it, because they are not going to disperse the money to you if you do not have an account in the business name. I can't stress that. You guys know that happened with a lot of people in regards to the loan last year. They were applying, they had a business, but they didn't have a business account. They were actually doing business and people writing checks to them personally. And so when it came time to disperse the loan amount, the loan period, they didn't have a way to receive it. So that's very important. So again, we're talking about having that bank information, submit things that they'll be looking at to verify eligibility. Those payroll receipts, quarterly tax filing, annual tax filings, that be payroll and business, but they mainly going to be looking at that 941 quarterly IRS statement for your payroll, maybe the 940, that's an annual payroll form that IRS uses, maybe 1099 miscellaneous or form 1040 or a Schedule C profit loss statement, and probably have bank receipts, and they're probably for a certain period or range of time. Again, we're talking about the max loan amounts. For the first and second, you may receive 2.5 times the average of your monthly payroll. Okay, 2.5 of your times your monthly payroll. That's typically what the PPP is awarded on and everything. And lastly, again, eligible things that are eligible to be covered up on the PPP. Remember, the initial loan in 2020, they covered payroll, rent, covered mortgage expenses, and utilities. On this new package that's on there right now, let me 1 second, trying to update this. Under the new package that is out there right now, they're covering PPE equipment, PPE personal protection equipment, masks, coverings, face shields, hand sanitizers, things like that. That's covered. If you have any kind of upfront costs, in addition to do that, that's covered. If you had any kind of losses from damages, riots, and everything in 2020, that's covered. And also, like again, some of those upfront expenditures, essential expenditures rather, the signs, lighting, certain things that you had to had to purchase to start back operations. Base hand sanitizer, somebody had to come by and spray your business down at night and stuff like that. Those things can be covered on the PPP to acquire forgiveness. Okay. Remember, just to get forgiveness, you have to spend no less than 6% of the funds on payroll or those covered expenses between 8 or 24 weeks. Okay. Again, I hope that information helped you guys. If you missed it, you came in late or whatever, don't worry. I got all the contact information on all the videos, so feel free to reach out to me in regards to everything. But I want you guys to make sure you're applying for these loans, taking full advantage of what's out there, okay? And most importantly, subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just stay abreast of everything. So I need you guys to just make sure, because I'm putting out videos like every other day, okay, from different things between the loans, the grants, the different kind of business operations, personal finance advice. Tons of information come out there. You're looking on YouTube, hit that $ in that bottom right-hand corner. YouTube is probably the main platform because we put pretty much everything on YouTube and spread and try to kick it out to the other different platforms and everything. But that's pretty much where most of the information goes there. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, like the Facebook page and everything. Please leave comments and share the video. Tell everybody about the little short bald guy talking about finance and everything. And I hope I've been helping you guys out. And you guys have really helped Mr. Short Dollar grow and do a lot of things within the past year. So if you got any questions again that come up later on, please feel free to reach out. Take care of yourself, guys, and be safe out there, okay?